Hey guys, welcome to Mega Firmware Update Day. Today we are talking lots of firmware updates. We're talking Mavic Air, Mavic Pro, Phantom 4 Advanced Plus, and Phantom 4 Pro Plus. So stick around for all the details. Alright guys, thanks for sticking around. So if you're looking for a specific update for a specific platform, look for the time codes down in the description below. I'll try and remember to put the time codes for where they start. Alright, so let's start off with the newest platform. Let's start off with the Mavic Air. It has a bunch of updates, and it's an update for both the aircraft as well as the remote control. So let's dive right in. It is version 01.00.0200 for the aircraft and 0100 for the remote control. It came out on February 9th, 2018, which is actually today as I record this. You're probably not going to see this on this day, but it is today as we record this. It is compatible with DJI GO 4 for iOS and Android version 4.2.5. All right, so what are the updates for the aircraft? The aircraft, all right, so we're going to start going through these pretty quick and try and keep the commentary low, so keep up with us. All right, so added support for using SmartCapture without using a remote controller and DJI GO 4. Added a group photo to SmartCapture. So SmartCapture is the gesture control for the Mavic Air. That's the new name for it. They're not calling it gesture control as they do with the Spark. It is SmartCapture. So they've made some updates to that. They've optimized GEO Zone management. Hopefully that is going to make it easier for some of us out there to fly that are close to airports, but we will see. Shortened time taken to power off. This is one that I had noticed when I was playing with it before I had to send mine back for repair, was that pressing that power button seemed like it took forever for it to power off, so glad to see that. They have optimized transmission quality when transmitting at 2.4 gigahertz. That's always a good thing. Hopefully that means a better signal and more distance. Improved takeoff performance to dampen a shaking phenomenon experienced by some aircraft during takeoff. This is one of those things that I think a lot of users were running into, and especially users in cold climates is what it seemed like. Seemed like it needed to warm up. So I'm hearing that this has actually resolved that issue. So that is a good job by DJI to dive in and resolve an issue quickly on that. Improved takeoff performance when taking off in conditions that are not suitable for the downward vision system. They've optimized asteroid exposure settings. This is one that I heard some complaints about as well, so I'm hoping this helps that out. Fixed an issue that occasionally prevented the aircraft from taking off following activation. Fixed an issue that occasionally caused the DJI GO 4 app to display a downward vision system calibration error. Fixed an issue that caused the battery level display to be incorrect if an intelligent flight battery was not fully charged when used for the first time. So this is one that I had seen when I was trying to get my aircraft up and running before I realized that it was just not going to work and I had to send it back, was I kept getting a message saying that the battery level was too low or something along those lines. I forget what it was. So hopefully this resolves that particular issue. Fixed an issue that occasionally caused the aircraft to land unexpectedly. Ooh, that doesn't sound like a good one. So glad that one's fixed. Hopefully it hasn't affected anybody out there. Now the remote controller, they've also added some updates for that. They added support for using DJI goggles head tracking flight feature. That's cool. Can't wait to see what that is. Shortened time to taking to power on. That's always a good one. Change default control stick deadband settings. Fixed an issue that occasionally caused the remote controller to restart automatically. Ooh, that would not be good if you're in the middle of a flight. Hopefully you've got your home point set. You're not flying in ATTI mode at that point. But it looks like they've got it fixed, so that's good. Fixed an issue that occasionally caused linking to fail. Fixed an issue that occasionally caused iOS device to start charging and the DJI GO 4 app not to connect to the aircraft when a mobile device was attached using an RC cable. Change the default settings for the function button and customizable button. I will be interested to see what those settings are. If you guys have already noticed what they are, let me know down below. I've still got a few days before my Mavic Air gets back to me. Alright, then they say, of course, restart the aircraft and remote controller after the upgrade is complete. Please note that the firmware update may reset various main controller settings, such as return to home, altitude, maximum flight distance, and so on to factory defaults. So that's something to keep in mind if you're going to go ahead and do this update. It's going to reset some of the settings on the aircraft. And it's also going to reset the camera settings. And then, of course, they always say this in every firmware update. If it fails, restart the aircraft, the remote controller, and DJI GO 4 or Assistant 2, and retry. All right, so I'm happy to see they fixed the couple of bugs that I was aware of, especially that shaking one. I know a lot of people were running into that. I had some friends that were running into that as well, and I hear that that is working much better with this firmware update, so great job. All right, so that is the Mavic Air. We're going to move on next to the Mavic Pro. So the Mavic Pro also has a few updates. So again, they updated this on February 9th, 2018. It is for aircraft firmware version 01.04.0300. They didn't update the firmware for the remote control like they did on the Mavic Air. It is compatible with iOS and Android for DJI GO 4.2.5 and higher. Alright, so what's new? They fixed an issue where the photos captured in JPEG and RAW format cannot be downloaded. If you're stuck with that problem, that is a tough one. So that's one that you're certainly going to want to update. If you're running into that problem, you're certainly going to want to update to this firmware version because of that. If you're not, and you don't have the goggles, this may be one you might want to maybe sit out because there's not a lot else for it. So it's also an update for DJI goggles. So they added support for the Mavic Air. They added head tracking support for the Mavic Air. And they added support for capturing and viewing panorama shots, and added support for playing back and downloading photos and videos captured by the Mavic Air. So even though this is listed as a Mavic Pro firmware update, it's really for the DJI goggles to improve performance and compatibility with the Mavic Air. And there is the one issue around the photos captured in JPEG and RAW that can't be downloaded. So if you're running into that issue, that's really where you are going to want to update for your Mavic Pro firmware. Unless you've also got DJI goggles, then you might want to do this update as well. So of course you're going to, if you do this update, you're going to want to restart your aircraft and your remote controller. If it fails, you want to restart everything, the aircraft, the remote controller, and DJI GO 4, and then try it again. And again, this one may reset some of the settings, so be careful. Make sure that you know what your settings are. If you have to, go write them down and then go back and set them again. And now we're going to move on to the Phantom 4 Pro Plus and the Advanced Plus. So these are remote controller firmware updates. So they're not necessarily for the aircraft, they're for the remote controller. As we know with the Plus versions, these come with the screen on the remote controller, so you don't need a separate phone. So that's why we have the updates for here. So again, this was released on February 9th. They say 2017 in the release notes, but it is for 2018. They added support for panorama shooting mode. So I know a lot of you guys with the Pro Plus and the Advanced Plus have been waiting for those for a while. It's a little bit behind where the standard version of the Phantom 4 Pro and the Phantom 4 Advanced are at, just because it's additional work they have to do for the display device. Now they've also added data transmission on the quick settings page to support downloading photos and videos from the Pro Plus and the Advanced Plus remote controller to your mobile device. So again, you will need DJI GO 4 version 4.1.14 or higher enabled in order to do that. Now they also say that with the Pro Plus and the Advanced Plus, the remote controller can support up to 20 third-party apps, which you can add or remove through the system settings. And of course they got a disclaimer where they're saying, hey, we don't take responsibility for what you do. If you add bad apps, that's up to you. And of course they say if you experience any problems with any of those apps, they just suggest that you should uninstall them or reset the remote controller back to its factory default settings. So that was a bit of a mouthful for all of the firmware updates. Again, we have Mavic Air, we have Mavic Pro, and we have Phantom 4 Pro Plus and Advanced Plus. The major updates for the Phantom 4 Pro Plus and Advanced Plus are the panorama mode. The big one for the Mavic Pro is not being able to download some of the files. So if you're running into that one, you may want to do that update. Otherwise, you may want to think about holding off because there doesn't really seem to be much else involved there. But if you have a Mavic Air, you probably, and I would say you definitely want to update to this one. It fixes several of the problems that a lot of people had found going into the 0100 firmware version. So far, I'm seeing positive reviews on the Mavic Air firmware update, that it is fixing things and moving things forward. If you guys are hearing anything different from what I'm hearing, I would love to hear about any problems, or is it fixed for you? Is it fixing things for you, or is it breaking stuff for you? Let's hear about it down below. If you aren't already subscribed to our channel, I would love to have you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell next to it so you know when we're putting out new videos, so we can give you updates like this as soon as we can. We appreciate you guys watching. Hope you're having a great day, and we will catch you guys on the next one soon. All right, take care. Have a good one. Ciao.